Hey there, it's Amy, and this is not a regularly planned Irresistible You episode, but I just have something I want to say to you today because it's on my heart, so I figured I would do this impromptu message for you. I want you to understand how fucking powerful you are. I want you to understand how much of a badass you are. I want you to understand the fierce, confident queen that is inside of you, waiting to come out. And I want you to know that nobody else in this world is stopping you from becoming who that woman is except for you. It's not your partner. It's not your shitty boss. It's not the bullies. It's not the bitch next door. It's you. You are the only woman in this world, on this planet, that is stopping you from stepping into your power and becoming the absolute most irresistible version of you that you could ever be. You may not believe it, but I believe it for you. You have so much power and confidence and drive inside of you. And I want you to know it is time. It is time to stop hiding. It is time to stop being afraid. It is time to finally step into your potential. Step into all the gifts and talents and things that you have to offer the world. And to stop letting how much you weigh, what you look like, how old you are from stopping you. Imagine what you could do. Imagine how you could change not only yourself, but the world if you finally stepped into that power. Who would you be? What type of woman would you be? What type of things could you accomplish? You could finally stop playing small. You could finally stop hiding behind your true power. You could finally stop letting all the assholes win, letting the bullies win, letting their words that they said to you cut you down and stop you from doing what you actually want to be doing with your life. What if you could look in the mirror and see what I see what other people see, and that you're a fucking badass, that you're fierce, and that you're confident, and you have every single thing inside of you that it takes to live the life that you crave and live the life that you deserve. And you need to understand that you are worth that. You are worthy of living that life. You do not deserve to live a mediocre life. You do not deserve to settle. You do not deserve to live a life that isn't what you envisioned for yourself. It's also not too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you've tried. I don't care what you have done and failed. I don't care. None of that matters. The past is not going to dictate where you're going. Because you have every option and decision to decide today to move forward, to become irresistible, to become who you know you're supposed to be. Because you know it deep down inside. You know that you're settling. You know that you're playing small. You know that you're playing safe. And why? Why? Because somebody might call you fat if you step out and say what you want to say. Somebody might call you a bad name. Why are you going to let that stop you from all the greatness that's in there? Why are you going to let someone who is that small to say those nasty things win? Why are you going to let the bullies silence you from all the things that you have to say that are going to help inspire and motivate and empower other people? You cannot change the world until you change yourself. You cannot inspire anyone else until you find that inspiration within you. And you have what it takes. I promise you, you have what it takes. I see that for you, and I want you to see that for yourself. Change is not easy. Change is not something that's going to just come to you overnight. It's a decision. It's a decision to become who you know you're capable of being. I know that you have that vision. I know that you have this version of yourself in your mind, but yet your actions and your life, when you look at that, they're not reflective of who you actually know you want to be. You get to make that decision. But as long as you keep holding yourself back, as long as you keep putting the blame on everybody else, the only person you're hurting in the long run is you. And I want you to know how beautiful, how irresistible, how amazing you are. And you just need to see it for yourself. You just have to believe it for yourself. And people could say nice things to you all day long, but until you believe it, you're never going to accept what they say. And so you'll continue to listen to the negative voice in your head, the inner fat bitch who's telling you you're never going to amount to anything. Why bother? You always fail. You suck. That's the voice that runs in your mind all day long. And you know when it stops? It stops when you make the conscious decision to say enough is enough. I'm not listening to that anymore because I am worth more than that. My job here is to hold you to a higher standard than you are holding for yourselves. Because I know that you're not holding yourself to a higher standard right now. I know that. But all of this is possible for you. And it's like a fire raging inside of you that is just wanting to get out, that needs to get out, that has to get out, that has to be heard, that has to be seen, that wants to be validated. Because your whole fucking life, no one has heard you. No one has really actually heard you. No one has validated you. They have not validated your existence, your feelings, your beliefs, and what you stand for. And no one has actually seen you for who you really are. And I am willing to bet you don't even see yourself. You aren't even hearing yourself, and you aren't validating yourself. Because if you were, you would not be allowing yourself to settle for less than you deserve. And as long as you believe that you aren't worthy and that you don't deserve things, you're not going to see and hear and validate yourself and your wants, needs, and desires. You just won't. Because you don't truly believe it deep down. And if you don't believe it deep down, the way that other people treat you, you just accept it. People call you names, people verbally abuse you, people don't treat you with respect. And what do? You just let it slide because you think that you deserve it. And I am here to tell you right here, right now, you deserve better. You deserve better from other people, and you most deserve better from yourself. I want you to hear this. Today is October 16th, 2019. What have you been doing for the past almost 10 years, the last decade? How did you spend this decade of your life? Did you spend this decade of your life repeating the same bullshit cycle? Did you spend this decade of your life beating yourself up over some loose skin on your arms? Did you beat yourself up over some fat rolls and some cellulite? How did you spend the last decade of your life? How much time did you waste this decade worrying and panicking about what you look like, how much you weigh, what size you are, what are other people going to think of me if I actually do what I want to do? How is everyone going to perceive me if I dress like this? Or how is everyone going to perceive me if I change my career and I make this big change in my life? How many things in your life are you holding back because you're afraid to be seen? You're afraid to be heard. How much time are you willing to waste? So I want you to reflect on that. What have you been doing for the past decade, the past 10 years? Because, guys, this decade is over in 2.5 months. Do you understand that? 2.5 months, you guys. And these 2.5 months, boom, like they're going to fly by. Halloween is coming, Thanksgiving, the holidays, and then it's New Year's Eve. And I want you to envision, how do you want to feel on New Year's Eve 2020? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel when you're ringing in the new year for the new decade and going into 2020? Think about it. Are you willing to spend the next decade, the 20s, are you willing to spend the 20s doing the same old tired shit that you've always been doing? Are you? And if the answer is no, then I want to know your plan. I want to know your strategy, and I want to know how you plan on doing that. That's what I want to know. I want you to message me. I want you to email me. I want you to hit me up and tell me, what is your plan? Because it's not enough to just say, no, I don't want to live like that. You have to have a plan. Because what's going to happen is you're going to fall right on back into the same old tired behaviors. You know that. I know that. I remember when the year 2020, when I was in like middle school, it felt like this futuristic robot world that was actually never going to happen because it just felt so far into the future. But guys, we're here. We are on the cusp of 2020. Like, can you even comprehend that? Like, for me, it's like, wow, 2020? Like, we are in the 2020s and 2.5 months. And I don't know about you, but I want that decade of my life to be even more kick-ass. I want that decade of my life to not be spent wasting time hating myself, hating my body, beating myself up, holding myself back, and playing small. I'm not willing to do that because I have wasted a lot of years of my life doing those things, holding myself back from my true power and potential because I didn't want other people to judge me, because I didn't want to be seen and heard and actually like live into my big ass personality, because I have a big personality, and that's one thing that I am going to fucking own from now and going forward. And this podcast has given me that outlet. It has given me that platform to actually step into my actual power and personality because I have held it back for so long. Wanting to conform and be the nice person that everybody wants me to be and not say what I really want to say and like hold back. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. And I want the same for you. I want you to think about how in your life are you holding yourself back? How in your life are you not playing the way you know you can play? You're playing it small because you think it's safe. You think it's safe because if you don't go after what you want, you don't go after your dreams and ambitions, then you can't get hurt and you can't get rejected and you can't get declined and you can't get made fun of. But I want to tell you this right now. That stuff is probably going to happen anyway. So the difference becomes you accepting, okay, if somebody makes fun of me, if someone ignores me, if someone doesn't like me, oh well, bye Felicia, don't need them in my life. And you know what? I've said it to you guys before, and I'm like, listen, I would much rather you call me a fat ass bitch to my face. I would much rather you tell me, I don't like your podcast, bye, get off it then. Because when someone tells you that, when someone speaks their truth, and their truth is negative and nasty, you know who they are. You know to weed that person out of your life. So if someone doesn't like you, why would you want to continue playing the fake game with them and conforming to what you think they want you to be? How is that any way to live your life? Stop doing that. Like, that shit needs to stay behind. That shit has to stay back in 2019 because we're not doing that anymore. I want you to go out there and make a decision to live your life unapologetically. I want you to go live your life taking chances and taking risks no matter what the outcome will be. The outcome might be amazing. The outcome might be rejection, but whatever the outcome is, I want you to know you did your best. I want you to know that you tried and you gave it everything you had before you decided to throw in the towel. Because right now, you're throwing in the towel before you even get started. You are self-sabotaging the shit out of who you're supposed to be. The moment you find a little bit of happiness, the moment you get a little bit of success, the moment the scale starts to go down, the moment you like what you see in the mirror, what do? You fuck it up. Don't believe me? Start watching how you behave. Start watching your habits and your behaviors, because you're the one that's fucking it up every single time. You are self-sabotaging yourself from the life you deserve. You are self-sabotaging yourself from living in the body that you deserve. You deserve to live in a body that is healthy and that is well taken care of and that doesn't hurt and feel bloated and feel miserable and feel gross all the time. And you know that. And you know how great the other side can be. But you continue to self-sabotage yourself because living under your wet blanket of misery, that's what you're used to. That's what you're comfortable with because you've allowed it to go on for so long. But what if you decided to take the wet blanket off? To get uncomfortable for a short period of time so that you could live the rest of your life the way you've always envisioned, the way that you've always dreamed. And I'm not saying any of this is easy, because it's not. It's not going to be easy on you because there's a lot of behavior, there's a lot of changes, and there's a lot of transformations that you're going to have to make. And along with that means saying goodbye to certain people in your life, letting go of toxic people, letting go of toxic situations. And none of it's easy, but you're capable of it. Do you see that? Like, you are so capable of it. And I see you struggling. I see you like just having all the excuses as to why you're not going to be able to do it. And what if you spent that time coming up with all the reasons why you can do it? Right? 2020, it's here. It's 2.5 months away. How do you want to feel on New Year's Eve? How? Do you want to feel miserable, stuck, depressed, sad, lonely, feeling like nothing ever works for you, that you're just stuck on the same old cycle of your life? Because if that's the case, that is now your choice. That is a choice whether you want to believe that right now or not. I can see that for you, and staying stuck and staying miserable is a choice. It's a choice. You either decide to do that or you decide that you're worth more than that and you're going to change. Because I want you to know you are so powerful. You just don't realize it yet. You just don't realize it yet. I see it for you. I want it for you. And I know that it's possible for you. Thank you guys for listening. I had to get this off my chest. I'm fired up. You know how I get sometimes, and I had to get this off my chest. Hit me back. DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Send me an email, Amy, I cannot spell my name today, AIMEE at irresistibleicing.com. And let me know, what's your plan? What are you doing for 2020? What is your plan? Not having a plan is also a plan. And if that's where you're at right now, it's okay. I want to know. I want to know where you're at. So, love you guys. Have an amazing, fabulous, awesome day, night, whenever it is that you're listening to this. Until next time, stay irresistible.